Namaskar. So welcome all of you. Today I am going to talk about the purpose of human life and how to attain it. In this vast creation of Paramapurusha, there are millions of created beings, and human beings have got the highest position in his creation. And in human mind, we find the highest expression of intellect and independent thinking. So in this stage of human life, human beings are searching for never-ending happiness. There is a saying that in every living being there is a thirst to know the limitlessness. Now the question is coming that why human mind is not satisfied with something limited, with something objective or material. Our science has given us a lot of material happiness, material affluence, but material affluence is unable to quench the human thirst because mind is searching for infinite. So the fundamental question is why mind is searching for the infinite? Because mind has come from the infinity. In our Vedas, it is said, Anandam Brahmeti Bejanat, Ananda Dveva Khalvidani Bhutani Jayanti, Anandam Jatani Jivanti, Anandam Prayantam Bhisambisanti Va. That means all the living beings have originated from Anandam. Means our source is Anandam, means infinite happiness. And we are living also in this Anandam. And ultimately, we all want to go back to that source of Anandam. So that is why there is a natural urge in every human mind to search for that infinite happiness. But as we know, that this material world, no matter how much you earn, how much money you have in the bank balance, how much material property you might have, a car or house or anything else, or name, fame, position, whatever, but all are limited. So these limited objects cannot satisfy the unlimited desire of human mind. So what is happening, that from the very inception, this search for the infinite, the finite, the never-ending search of the finite to be one with the infinite, which is called mysticism, is going on. And man has been searching this infinite first in the external world. As you know, a time was there when people were worshipping different natural forces like rain, like fire, like air, sun, moon, etc. And another time came when people with the mightiest forces were worshipped. And we know Ganesha and other pujas that we do now comes from that stage. So, but these external worships cannot quench the unsatiated desire for the unlimited. So finally, man is searching for infinite source of happiness that is within, not without. So this search for infinite is that which has led for the spiritual quest of human mind. And this, in the spiritual search, how to reach that infinite stage is through the meditation. Because human mind has two characteristics. One is, mind cannot remain objectless. Mind has to think. Mind has to think something always. Even when we sleep, mind is still thinking, depending on our own samskaras, our dominant thinking. And the second thing is that as we think, so we become. Means the dominant thought of our life decides our nature of our mind, our character, our habits, our hobbies, and our personality. So our personality, our life is depending on the nature of the dominant thought. So this is very crucial in our life. What kind of thought we should carry on? So that is why our ancient sages, rishis, have taught us that to search the moon, don't look at the pond, look at the sky. Because in the pond, you can see only the reflection, and the reflection cannot give you the satisfaction. You have to see the original moon. So the original, that reflection of the Parampurusha is within us, which we call Paramatma or Jivatma, is the reflection of this Paramatma. So this process of uniting or unifying our Jivatma with Paramatma is called yoga, in the real sense of yoga. So this yoga is very fundamental practice of all human beings that can satisfy human desires of finding the infinite. Now the question is that what is the nature of yoga should be? Is it only some exercise which we call asanas? No, not at all. Yoga in Ananda Marga yoga is a complete way of life. Means the purpose of life is embedded in yoga. It's not only for physical fitness, or it's not only for mental happiness. It is for a total vision of life, the holistic and a complete vision of life. So first thing is, the basic concept is that Paramapurusha, or you can say the Supreme Consciousness, is the creator of all the beings. So that means we all belong to a vast family, a cosmic family, and we have a common patrimony, that is Parampurusha, and he is our cosmic father, and we all have equal right to live on this earth, and all lives have equal values also. So these are some basic postulates on which spirituality is depending. Our goal is one, the value of each life is one, and the process is also one, to reach the Supreme Father, and that is through meditation. So in Ananda Marga Yoga, which is a holistic way of living, so there is a complete approach for physical well-being, for psychic liberation and happiness, and lastly the spiritual unity, oneness. So in the physical realm, what Ananda Marga teaches is that how we can live a happy life, means a healthy life, is first by taking sentient diet, means the food which is more dominant with natural our positive energy. So vegetarian, not only vegetarian, you can say the food which is more natural. So all the vegetables, fruits, milk products, cereals, nuts, they come under this category of sentient food. So sentient food is very essential for sentient mind, and sentient mind will give rise to sentient thoughts, positive thoughts. So today human beings are becoming more and more aggressive, more and more animalistic tendencies are dominating in human mind, because our food is against our nature. You'll see that in the creation, all the living beings, birds, plants, our human beings, means all the living beings, they are following natural laws. So far food is concerned, they all follow natural law. Say suppose a goat never eats meat, elephant never eats meat. So similarly, because their nature is like that, even they will die, they will not violate natural law. But human beings, because of their greed, because of their the taste, little bit taste, they are violating all the natural principles, and that is why we are inviting our own peril. So that is why nowadays people are becoming more and more sick, because as medical science saying, there are 3 causes of sickness. One is wrong eating, and second is wrong thinking, and third is wrong living. So we are like, our life is a combination of these 3. Our eating is wrong, our thinking is wrong, and our living conditions also wrong. So that is why we are in a vicious circle of this disease. So we are giving all our energy to earn money and live a life which causes disease. So there is no end to this suffering. So the only way which the yogis are said, the first thing is you are what you eat. Means your food is the first thing. So for physical harmony, for physical wellness, first thing is the food. So you have to choose sentient foods, means natural food, food with more green energy. And the second is yoga asanas. So in yoga there have been many asanas, but Anandamurti has selected only 42 asanas in his yogic style, way of life. So out of that 42 asanas, only 4 or 5 asanas are enough for one individual. Like a pharmacy, you go to a pharmacy, there are hundreds of medicines, but you don't take all the medicines. You take only those medicines which are necessary for you. So for our physical and psychic progress, 4 or 5 asanas are enough. So what are those 4 or 5 asanas? So that you learn from an acharya who has this knowledge, who has the training to decide that what kind of asanas will be helpful for you. So you need the guidance of a spiritual acharya. Anandamarga acharya will help you in deciding the asanas. And another thing which nowhere will find, that is the Kaushiki. Kaushiki is one of the great contributions and blessing of Anandamurti. So one exercise, one yogic exercise, which have 22 benefits, physical, mental and spiritual, all three. So this is completely unique in the history of yoga, Kaushiki. So this is a very special exercise which is more beneficial for women, but of course it is also helpful for men also. So this Kaushiki along with asanas will be very beneficial for our physical harmony. And the last one is the Tandava. So Tandava was given by Lord Shiva 7,000 years ago. And Tandava is the only exercise for brain. And Tandava gives courage, fearlessness, manliness, physical stamina and mental stamina too. So as today people are getting more and more depressed, melancholic, so they are losing the hope of life. So Tandava will give hope of life, a courageous life, to lead a courageous life, to have moral courage to fight against all evil forces. So this Tandava is only for given for men. So Anandamurti has revived it after 7,000 years ago, after time of Shiva. So all these three selected asanas, Kaushiki and Tandava, the total package for yogic living. So this will balance our hormone secretions, tone our internal organs, and maintain the proper biorhythm, and give us more positive energy, and not only physical energy, also psychic balance. Our mind will be more focused, will develop positive thinking also. So means these asanas are intended for physico-psychic harmony. And then comes our fasting, upavasa. Upavasa is very essential. In our ancestors, they have in all religions you'll find there is provision of upavasa, means fasting. But gradually, somehow, we have deviated from those natural things which our ancestors had advised us, and we are living unnatural life, eating and eating. Even animals, they also do natural fasting. A cat, when the cat gets sick, the cat goes and eats grass and vomits, and that day the cat observes fasting. So fasting automatically cures the disease and gives the healing power. So similarly, we all have the healing power within us, but that healing power is blocked because we are living unnatural life. So when you observe fasting, so all the impurities are eliminated from the body is naturally clean, and physically, mentally, spiritually, you become recharged. A recharged personality. So that is called fasting. And also there is another important point, yogic habits. Getting up early in the morning, very important. in modern life we sleep late and we get up late. So this is also causing our health problems, because our previous ancestors says early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy and wise. But we are living in another way. We sleep late and we get up late. So that is causing our health problems. So that's why spiritual science says, Ananda Marga says, that you should get up early in the morning, in the Brahma Muhurta, finish your morning duties and practice meditation and yoga. So this will completely revitalize your this block of energy and what you call the natural way of living. And we come back toward the source of happiness. Another thing which is very important is what we are doing. So are we doing everything for our own selfish pleasure, or we are doing something for happiness of others? So there are two ways of living in our life. One can live for oneself and one can live for others also. And definitely will agree that there is more happiness in when we live for others. When some part of our life, some part of our earning, some part of our energy is devoted for the happiness of others. I can tell you a small story. Two patients got admitted to a hospital, and both the patients were very seriously sick. So nurse allotted one bed to one friend near the window. So every afternoon, the friend who was near the window was telling many beautiful things what is happening outside. And the other patient who was at the other far side of the room, he was just waiting at 4 o'clock that what my other friend will tell me. So every afternoon, that friend who was near the window was telling many beautiful things. That children are playing around, flowers are there, garden is there, butterflies are there. There is so much joy, so much life. So every afternoon, this friend was waiting just to listen these things happening outside. And one day, that friend who was near the window passed away. And when he passed away, nurse came and took him away, took his body away. And then the patient who was in the far end of the room, he requested the nurse, "Sister, can you please shift me to that bed?" And nurse said, "Why not? I can do it, of course." Then nurse shifting this patient to that near the window, and the patient is waiting very anxiously for 4 o'clock. That 4 o'clock, I will see what is happening outside. And you know, when 4 o'clock came, it was 4 o'clock, and this patient is with all his anxiousness, looking outside to see what is outside. And he saw, to his great surprise, there was no garden, no flower, no children playing, no butterfly, nothing, only a blank wall. Then this is saying to the nurse, "Sister, how is possible that my deceased friend was telling me so many beautiful things, what is happening outside?" Then the nurse said, "Do you know that your deceased friend was blind?" Then he became still more surprised that even though he was a blind man, but why he was telling me so many good things to me? Nurse said, "Perhaps just to make you happy." And there is tremendous happiness to make others happy despite our own situations. We may be in difficult situations, but when we make little effort to make others happy, our happiness is doubled. So when happiness is shared, it is doubled, and shared grief is half the sorrow. So our life is not to share this grief, but to share the happiness. So the most important point is how we live our life is not for our selfish pleasure, but to give happiness to others. And the last point I want to conclude is the spiritual aspect, and that is the very important point. That is how we can channelize our mind, which is very, mind is very restless. Mind is very powerful, but very restless. Something is very powerful and very restless. How to win it over? So that is why there is a beautiful scientific process of meditation, where we can channelize all our thoughts internally to one point, and from that point to offer it to the divine consciousness in the form of a mantra. So mantra acts like a bridge. It's like a joining between the two, that is self and the supreme self. So it's a beautiful science is there. So this can be learned and everybody can do. And another beautiful thing in spirituality, there is no discrimination. Everybody, anybody, any background, black, white, literate, illiterate, rich, poor, gents, ladies, no discrimination. So this is spirituality is universal and for all. So through the scientific meditation, we all can find out the divine joy, the source of happiness, eternal happiness that is lying within us. So that is what Ananda Marg is professing, that we are all Amritasya Putra, means the son of the divine, and we are all entitled to have that divine realization, that self-realization through meditation. And I urge all of you that our life is not meaningless, our life is not useless. So the divine force that is guiding the stars and moons is also guiding us too. So nobody is insignificant, nobody is useless, or you can say redundant. Everybody has the value, has the purpose to meet the Supreme Father, and that is through meditation, that is through living a natural life.